you can make it.
Oh.
Wow. That just hits right. Yep.
All right. The reason we're here is
down to brass tacks.
Yeah, let's get right.
Let me talk to you, viewers.
No, we're down south for a smallmouth trip. Really, just a bass trip. Even though all we've caught so far is brim. That's besides the point. We wanted to go through essentially like the key fishing gear and as close to like terminal tackle as we can get.
And this is the gear that you're going to see used throughout the video. You know, we always get asked a lot in our Instagram messages and emails, whatever, comments on videos. What do you guys keep in your bag? What do you carry with you on the river? And so you've seen this bag used, is the Yeti. This is the new Cross Current bag or whatever, Crossroads bag. But I like this thing because it's easy for me to fly with. Obviously, I flew down here from Salt Lake. But loaded up with all my gear, and this is my carry-on bag.
Yep.
I do not check my fishing gear.
That is the last thing I want to do.
I can purchase clothes. I can go to
I don't need clothes.
I don't even need clothes to fish. But I tell you what, if they stole my reels, I'm gonna be real heated.
Yeah. Okay.
So what rods did you bring us?
I know nothing about bass fishing down here. What I do know is give or take the flies that we're gonna throw, because Adam has told me, and generally how deep the water is gonna be, how deep we're trying to get the flies. So knowing that, I brought 3 rods, probably get away with 2, but I brought a 690 NRX Plus with a floating line, just a standard SA MPX. And the reason I brought the 690 with the floating line is for smaller poppers or mostly topwater stuff. Should load a little easier and close. And then for the sinking lines and heavier flies, I brought a 788 swim fly. And for comparison's sake, because I think a lot of the guys down here maybe haven't cast like a true sinking line streamer taper rod like the swim fly, they probably cast mostly saltwater taper heavier 7 weights. So mostly for comparison's sake, I brought the 790 NRX Plus salt. However, that could work if we end up throwing bigger topwater stuff or lighter sinking lines. Anyway, we'll give you more video of that.
Yep.
So 3 rods, 6 weight, 2 7 weights. Probably have an 8. I think you brought an 8 weight.
No, Brent was bringing some rods, so I brought a 7 weight swim fly, which is quickly become my favorite streamer rod. And I also brought an 8 weight Asquith rod.
Asquith.
The Asquith.
Yes. For this, let's get a little bit into the lines. For any sinking line stuff, my kind of default start is a Sink 6 sink tip line. I like the SA Titan Long, but basically a sink tip line. I err on the side of heavier because it seems like we can never get our flies deep enough. And then Adam brought, we've got like a full sinking line, super heavy. We have a Sink 3 sink tip. We have, did we bring a floating 7 weight?
No, we brought a floating 8 weight.
This is the floating 8 weight then?
Yep.
So that'll go on the Asquith. The Asquith. And I think this is just a backup.
Yep, that's just a backup
sinking line.
Well, that one is a airflow though.
Okay.
So it's the Streamer Max Long.
Yep.
Airflow line, which is generally, I know you're more on the SA, I was more on the airflow sink tips, but it'd be fun to try them both out, kind of get to see.
The lines are really, can make a rod act quite different. If you're going with like a 1.5 line heavy line, it's going to slow the rod down. If you go true to weight, it's going to act faster. But you can basically suit the line to the rod, whatever your needs are for fishing. So here, it sounds like they're going to be short casts, and we might want to go with those heavier lines to slow the rod down in close. But
I like that, but that's because that's what I grew up doing.
Yep. So we'll get a little more into that, but quick overview. We're a bit gluttonous. We like to have options. So
yes,
we come prepared on the rod and reel and line front.
I'm definitely not going to get on a plane and fly across the country and then be like, man, I wish I brought that other line that was sitting in my house.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
The rest of the stuff that I keep in my bag that we're going to you'll kind of have seen or are going to see throughout this video. So I carry 2 Blue Line fly boxes with me. Just a couple of flies. I don't like to overdo it on flies.
Just 1 or 2 of each.
If that.
Yeah.
So I have in the Blue Line fly box, if you haven't watched that video, you can see that here. Our Blue Line fly box where it has our company patterns, and then I also carry my R&D box, R&D flies.
That looks like it's been used more than.
I just have more of these boxes. So definitely down south. I feel like I never worry about it.
I never leave home without the rain jacket.
You gotta have a rain jacket. If you leave home without the rain jacket,
it's gonna
rain. But if you bring it, it doesn't.
So use that as your advantage.
Unless
sometimes you want the rain.
Unless you fish in Alabama, it's gonna rain on you.
Okay.
So
rain jacket.
I bring a Sims rain jacket with me.
That's a must.
You're gonna have your Blue Line koozies. I got a bunch of them, so I can hand them out on the river. Come talk to me on the river and hand you Blue Line koozie.
Done.
You got your red beers, your red koozie.
And
it just
you can't have your stripping fingers get cold.
Oh, you couldn't do that. Could you imagine?
You just can't let that happen.
Awful. I bring 2 pairs of Costas with me because I have one for like the darker days.
Yep.
Or I really got into it when I was guiding, having the darker lenses. Because I started to get to the point where I would take my glasses off when it started getting dark, and I didn't like to do that.
Yeah.
When I was
You're
guiding.
out of the game. You're out of the game.
You're out of the game. Yeah.
Pretty well everywhere.
So I carry 2 pairs of Costas, and then I've got our tippet. Of course, I've got one of our new Blue Line.
Wow, that thing.
Tippet holder.
That is nice.
You seen that?
Look at
so
that.
It's got the clip, and I like it because then I can pull it out of the bag, and then I can flip it over and clip it to the top. So I've got it
ready to rock.
Easy for access, and then when we're leaving, whatever, carrying it back, I just throw it back in there.
And do you carry do you know? Okay, I only am gonna carry 1x, 2x, 3x, 20, 30, 40, or do you carry a broad range in case the fish get tippet?
If we're trout fishing, yeah, I carry a ton of different stuff. So I carry a run of nylon, I carry a run of fluoro nymph stuff,
the whole thing,
and then I carry a run of streamer stuff.
Okay.
For what we're doing this time, I only brought my streamer stuff.
So you know,
I know
you're confident
for my bass stuff, this is what we're throwing.
But if you don't know where you're going, you're bringing a pretty wide
bringing
range.
the range.
Agreed.
I keep spare swivels. So we've got our swivels, just in case you lose one. You want to rebuild a leader out of, obviously the leader material. You got your whatever, so we're ready to roll. I keep extra spare tie leaders.
Okay, so you bring pre-built leaders.
I bring pre-built leaders too. But that's also for people that I'm fishing with who, it's obviously if you break off.
When I don't know how to tie a knot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Something messes up. Because sometimes you might grab that tree, you might, grab the log.
Never done that.
You wouldn't. You might. Brent doesn't do that.
Nope.
I think we've taken enough time out of our video. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking in here. Again, we wanted to do this just because you guys ask us all the time, what gear do we bring? What do we have on the trip? What are we using when we're out here? Wanted to run through that with y'all.
What did we not go into in enough detail? Let us know in the comments. And we pretty much talk about gear if we're not fishing.
Yes. Did you like this video? If so, head over to the Ramblin' Fly podcast, where Brent and I do more in-depth gear reviews.
A lot?
Oh, maybe one of those. Oh, you know what?
60% of the time.
What is this?
I don't know.
Oh, I'll have that.
I'm sorry.
What'd you go with?
Went with a truck stop honey. Brown